Hello, my friends. How's it going? It's a rainy day here, and I thought it would be a good opportunity to explore some of these new MXM plates that we just got. The Retro Space box came with 3 plates, which is so cool. I love them. And I get requests sometimes for color palettes and how to pick the right colors and stuff. So that's kind of what I'm going to be focusing on today. And I thought it would be fun to use like a variety of sizes and shapes because there's so many different kind of things to do with these plates. And I don't have any kind of plan at all. I don't know what's going to happen, but I just figured I'll start messing around and y'all can just come with me. The obvious thing to start with is the colors that came in the box, and because I'm thinking like galaxy-ish kind of thing, let's just start with the small and kind of work our way up. I'm thinking I'm going to go with like a dark space, like a black background, or base rather, not a background. We're going to change it. And I want to try this magnetic pearl and anchor, which came with one of the summer boxes. And I love using magnetic gels, but I don't have very much. This is my only regular polish magnetic, so I'm not as good at this because it dries so fast. So I'm gonna put like kind of a generous amount. And then I've got this like flower tool. Whoa, that actually works really well. And then it came with like these little ball bearings, so maybe I'll try a different pattern. Cool. Yeah, that's actually like really awesome. I need to give the regular magnetics a little more credit. All right, I'm gonna add a little bit of this glitter. This is a paparazzi Reach for the Stars. And it's got like a gold silver kind of combo here. And I'm just gonna add a few. See if I can get some little stars on there. There we go. And now I want to use one of these kind of airbrushy looking ones with, which one is this? Zero Gravity. I just want this part. And now to add a little more fun color, I've got Hex here, which is another hollow but purple. And I really like this kind of swirly pattern here. We have only cool colors that we're using here, but I think I'm just gonna add like a little detail. This is such a tiny nail. I don't want to overwhelm it. So I'm thinking maybe like this rocket here could work. Let's take a look. And I'm just gonna color in this, the rocket just a little bit with this blue. I'll give this a top coat. Very cool. I'll showcase them all at the very end so we can take a closer look at everything. Let's move on to this short almond. And I'm thinking of doing an ombre on here, so I will paint the white base down first. I'm kind of thinking like alien skin for this one. Sorry this is used, but I like to reuse them just so I can get my money's worth out of them. So let's see, this is Trickster, Apple Crisp, and Spearmint. Basically, I'm just looking for a green ombre. I think I'll start with the light on the bottom. I'm gonna cover about half of it, and then another half and then a third half. So we've kind of got some overlap there, if that makes sense. I'm thinking I can make it like a little more alien looking. This is kelp forest. I don't know how this is gonna go, but I'm gonna go on top. Oh yeah, that's much more like alien, I think. Okay, because this looks so pretty, by the way, but just because it sort of has like a gold sheen to it, I'm gonna use this CJS003 gold. This is my favorite one. And I'm really liking this pattern here. So I'm only gonna use part of it, but I'm gonna pick up the whole thing so I can choose what I want it to look like. Oh, that's so cool. Make sure I'm nice and dry enough. It's not too dry, it's not too sticky. Oh yeah, that's awesome. I love that. And this is Ocean Floor, which is like really fabulous looking. I'm thinking that might be nice to just stamp a little kitty here. I think that looks really cool. So let's give it a top coat. Let's move on to a standard size almond. This is the shape and the size that I almost always use for my manicures that you see on Instagram, and just the ones that I always use on here. And I'm thinking, let's move this aside. When I think about like retro, I always think about these sort of pink and blue colors. So let's use that. I pulled a few of them. This is Moyu Mint Condition. This is Powder Puff, Seashell, Frosty, and Vaporwave. And then I've got this Sally Hansen Nice Rock, which I think I'm going to use for the base here. It's a little thin, so I might have to do 2 coats. This has just the slightest pink sheen to it, which I just think is perfect for these colors that I'm using. Okay, that's still not 100% dry, but it's literally taking forever. So I'm just gonna take my chances and start off with some of these blues. I think I'll add a little bit of the seashell as well, just a touch. But this is sort of not an ombre, but I'm not sure what to call it. I guess just sponge. So I get more of like an organic swirly effect there. And I like that a lot, but I think it just needs a little bit more pink. Yes. And I would love to use this one again. I just love that so much. It's kind of one of my favorites, but I'm gonna use this because it's got that retro thing going on. And hopefully this is opaque enough that it will look good over my blues. I'm thinking it will. So because this nail is a little smaller than the image, I'm just gonna like kind of angle and add some more there. That looks really cool. This little kind of curvy lady is kind of calling to me, so I think I'm gonna use that. And instead of using a black outline, think I'll try to use this Moonwake blue. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, I think that's good. And I'm just gonna keep using some of the colors I already have out here. So she's gonna have a light pink spacesuit. I think maybe white would have also been good. Maybe I'll do her face a little bit pink. Oops, oh my gosh. I think I can maybe salvage this. Let me just try to nudge that back over there. Oops. Honestly, that looks fine. But I guess the sleeve is gonna be pink now as well, but I was thinking about doing it white. I need a new brush. Arg, okay, I messed it up. Let me try again. That was just not meant to be. Let's try again. And I don't want to use this same color again, but I also don't want it to be exactly the same as the pants, so I'm blending them together. I'm going to use another kind of pinky skin color here. I'll stamp her right there. It looks super cute. I kind of feel like I want a little more of that dark blue, or like this vaporwave, but I'm not sure. Maybe I can add some stars or something. I don't know when I'm like mess it up. I'm just gonna take like some of these tiny little, they're almost like plus signs. Let me see what this looks like. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna add a couple of these. Great, I think that's really cute. Top coat. Okay, what do we got next? I have this kind of long stiletto here. I'm thinking let's use the UFO that came with the box as our base. And I want to use one of these long ones here. So I'm thinking this Martian landscape thing. And I've got some chunky glitters here, Spectral Shards, Northlight, and Metamorphosis. So we can do like a smush. This is similar to the sponge thing we just did. So I'm just sort of blobbing these on randomly, but kind of evenly spaced apart. Like that. It's still pretty wet, so I'm just gonna kind of gently tap on there. It's looking very festive. Taking black, straight up black. And I'm gonna need a lot of it. I have this hollow called Black Magic, which could be fun to do some of like these airbrush kind of look, like this one, kind of neat. Let's see what it looks like. That's fun. I'll add another one up there. That looks cool. This is silver birch, which is such a nice silver. It really looks like chrome when you use it. So maybe like this. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave it like that because I just think it looks really pretty. Could add some text or a UFO or something, but I don't know. I'm kind of just feeling like stopping here, just be able to see all the different colors that we introduced. All right, now for the big one. Let's just try something a little more dramatic on this one. These are such dramatic nails. So yeah, again, I'm gonna do a black base. And I'm using poinsettia, which just came with the Christmas box. I just want something like kind of red. This has a hollow in it. I'm just gonna do the tip here. Like that. Just kind of like fade that up in a rough way. And I haven't really been utilizing a lot of glitter, so this is Snow Globe, Sally Hansen. We'll be generous with this. It's so pretty. I mean, you got space manicures, you gotta have glitter, right? Okay, so maybe this is crazy, but I've got Charmed and Quasar here. A lot of stamping polishes have kind of spacey names to begin with, don't they? Kind of noticing that. And I want to use this. This kind of reminds me of like an old textbook or something. And this ice cube stamper is smaller than our nail. And I do have a huge stamper, but it's not going to work as well for this, especially because this is such a curved nail. So I'm just going to pick this up in 2 pieces. But I wanted to ombre them, which might actually be tricky since I'm doing that. So let's see how this goes. It might not work out that great. And it's a little more red up top, I think, so I'm gonna do like that. And all right, I'm just gonna try to overlap as best I can here. And I was kind of thinking of making it so like it looks like the spaceman is sort of dreaming. So I'm gonna go back to the silver birch. No, I think it should be black. I wish it was a little bigger. That'll look better. And the whole thing can just be colored in silver. And I'm not going to stick him quite right at the very bottom. I'm going to move him up, or her. Could be a lady. And then I'll color in the rest here. And I don't really like how just kind of blank that looks, so I'm going to take a bit of the, oh my goodness, a bit of the spacesuit upside down. And that'll just sort of make it look like it goes all the way to the bottom. Okay, and it also needs some other little doodads, details. What else do we have here? The Astro Babe might be cute. Let me see how that looks. And I like the look of some of these rockets. And one more. I wish that pointed the other way. Well, actually I can make it point the other way. I'll go like that. And then I'll add the rocket over there. Perfect. I got these at the Dollar Tree, dollar store. I'm thinking maybe we can add a couple, maybe the blue ones. I think the best way to do this maybe is to put the top coat on and then stick them on. And then I'll just get the tip a little bit wet and try to pick out some of the stars. Because there's like hearts and stuff in there too, I think. Yeah, I don't want the hearts, or do I? I think that's good. It always just looks a little better when there's an odd number of things, in my opinion. Okay, great. And then once that's totally dry, I can top coat it again. So yeah, we used a lot of nail polish and supplies for this, for all of these different manicures. So there's our completed manicures, if you can call it that. Some inspo for you for the new MxM box, Retro Space. Lots of different ways to use these plates, and I would love to know which of these is your favorite, and if you're going to try to recreate any of these, or if they gave you some ideas, gave you some inspiration for your own out of this world manicures. I don't know which is my favorite. That's pretty tough. I added a gel top coat to these so you could just see a little better because a lot of them were kind of textured. I'm kind of leaning toward this Astro Babe one. That one's really fun. It kind of reminds me of graffiti. But this one's pretty cool too. And of course the retro, very classic looking. And that kind of smush background gives it, or that sponge background, just gives it a little extra texture. And the little alien ombre, of course. Ombre always elevates. And then it was fun using this little magnetic. My only regret is that you can see I put my fingerprint on there trying to see if it was dry. But yeah, let me know what you think, and that's all I have for you today, my friends. So until next time.